Galera, vamos assistir agora o WoWCast falando sobre Undermined. Mandou pra gente aqui durante a live. E vamos ver o que rola. Eu vou aumentar um pouco o volume pra ouvir bem o que a galera tá falando. Vou ligar as legendas pra quem não entender, a gente vai trocando uma ideia. Tá em português?
Não, dá pra pôr, né?
Ah, tá. A legenda tá em português. Super synthwave, né?
Vai ser um mapa grande isso aqui.
Vai.
Hello and welcome to WoWCast. Today we're diving deeper underground into the next content update for the War Within, Undermined. Joining me today are two developers from the team who helped bring this update to life. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm David Hollings. I'm a game designer who focuses primarily on battleground and arena maps.
E trem.
Hi, I'm Mark Collada. I'm assistant lead quest designer and the point for the Undermined update.
Thank you for joining us today. Let's jump right in. What made Undermine the perfect location for this major update?
Undermine is a location that we've seen throughout the lore of World of Warcraft.
Já foi mencionado
both in manuals back from 1999. I think it was just like a little location at the south of the map, to Cataclysm and seeing it in gossip text and other interactions with goblins. So for us, it didn't make a lot of sense to
Las
put it in the
Vegas
first
de
War zone, but it certainly makes a
thing.
lot of sense to put it here. Another thing that we really wanted to do when we were looking at Undermine was goblins. Goblins, of course, are this zany, creative, chaotic race that we have in World of Warcraft, and we really haven't seen a lot of development in their culture and who they are, their stories. So this is our way of making sure that, like, hey, players, we want to give you more stories that are based on cultures that we have not yet seen in the world, but then also make sure that we are connecting it back to the larger story.
Eu vou dar um pause aqui. O que ele disse até agora é que vai ser conectado com a lore principal da War Within. O que faz sentido, porque eles estão tentando descobrir todo o lance do cristal, todas as coisas ali. Da Ilha Sirena também. Vamos ver o que vai virar esse trem aí. Até agora, cara, eu voltei a jogar por conta da Mar. E o que eu fiquei surpreso, você que tá assistindo, vai assistir agora, vai assistir na gravação, é muito louco, porque tudo tem conexão desde o começo. O lance dos titãs, o lance da Jewel do Ar. Desde lá de trás você tem lá a máquina dos titãs, você tem as dungeons dos titãs, e aí você vai vendo. Em Pandaria tinha, e eu via e não me ligava, os Mogu e tal, e agora parece que...
Então, mas a gente não se ligava muito, fazia conexão na época com lore, com história.
A gente sempre conectou com a lore principal.
A gente tinha aquela coisa de se sentir aproximado com um certo personagem. E nem eu adorava as Sylvanas, apesar de tudo, né?
Eu sempre gostei dela.
Entendeu?
Mas é que a quest dos titãs, a história do mundo sempre ficou de background, né?
Ficou.
E agora a gente vai continuar com isso daqui.
Saga and especially the War Within. For us, at least, we get to do really cool stuff. We get to interface with the 4 different cartels, the Bilgewater, Blackwater, Steamweedle, and Venture. And each one of them and their leaders, as we've got to know throughout World of Warcraft. So we have
essas facções estão em Azeroth já. Em Kalimdor, em Eastern
Kingdoms. For Blackwater, don't worry, if you've been killing goblins in Booty Bay, you'll be fine there.
My rep.
Yeah. And then Venture Co., not a cartel, but you'll see what we have in store for them. Normally antagonists, but much like everything with goblins, they can shift their allegiances based on whatever it is that they choose to. And we will...
tô pausando aqui. Basicamente, a gente vai poder fazer quest nessas 4 facções aí, sem ter prejuízo de uma na outra, né? E nada do que você fez fora contra os goblins vai valer muito também.
We'll explain that more within the story.
I'm so excited to learn more about the goblins and their crazy antics. Speaking of the cartels, if we partner with the
é igual o lance dos contratos da...
As atividades pelo mapa. Tem isso também lá na área das aranhas e as carretes.
Sim.
So if you decide to go with Blackwater, Baron Revelgaz will be the one blabbing at you in World Quest in his very awesome, what is a pirate goblin sort of voice. And you'll go around and do different things for the Blackwater Hotel. And with that, you will also be able to unlock customizations for your car different transmogs, toys.
Nossa, olha esses
sort of the
transmogs,
general
velho.
things
Olha os
that you would expect to
brinquedos.
come out of a friendship reputation that you're earning.
Aquilo ali é uma
throughout the
montaria?
experience.
Speaking of cars, this new vehicle system drive was mentioned in the Warcraft Direct recently. David, do you have more information on this?
I do, yeah. Drive, which stands
Aqui tá
for
driving.
Dynamic and
tô
Revolutionary
com a legenda em
Improvements to
inglês, pô.
Vehicular Experiences, is going to be the new way that you get around Undermine. It's roughly 3 to 5 times faster than a ground mount and a little faster than skywriting at full speed.
I think once people really get a feel for that speed, I guarantee people will really start to
Esse carrinho vai ser mais rápido do que qualquer montaria que a gente tem, então...
How does progression work with the
drift.
vehicle?
Especialmente pra fazer
you'll get your
zona.
car from Nanny Tallulah, and she's going to send you on some shipping and handling activities to gain some currency and get some parts for your ride.
Blizzard,
And you'll be able
relembrando
to
os tempos
customize
de
your
Rock
ride,
and Roll
whether you're getting
Racing.
colors, make it faster, or even change how it drifts. You'll be able to make it your own.
O que fizeram com a Dragonflight vão fazer com o carrinho agora nas corridas,
trying
então.
to control your car around those like really tight turns of the Undermine.
Also, we do have timekeeper races that players can go and challenge themselves to 4 courses. We have both the forward and the reverse course, and then we want to just see how you decide to make it your own with other players.
Mas você já viu a Blizzard? Eles gostaram da corrida, os players gostou, eles vão reutilizar.
Please do, right? Like, we really want to see how people make this sort of like an experience they're getting into themselves.
All right, now
Essas
let's switch
corridas aí de
gears
Dragon
and let's
Ride,
talk
elas são
about delves.
bobas, são simples, mas a
Hey,
gente
don't make fun of my
gosta.
pun, okay?
As pessoas gostam do
There will be
básico,
2 new
do
delves,
simples.
Excavation Site 9 and Side Street Sluice, as well as
Isso
new variants
aqui
of
tá
Goblin-themed delves for the majority
bastante
of the
coisa
War
e
Within
ainda é
delves.
só patch,
There'll
né?
also be a
Major
new
patch, igual a
Zephyr-style
mais cedo.
encounter as well. That's going to be hosting all new rewards.
Oh, cool. Do you have an example of one of the rewards?
There will be a new mount, the Gobtrotter mount, with new customization options as well,
Caraca,
including
olha
a gold variant version for the challenge mode.
Oh, similar to like the Void one that's out right now if you
chama?
be
Parking?
Exactly.
O veículo de exploração
Can you tell
que a
us
gente
more
ganhou
about
das
Side Street
delves?
Sluice and Excavation Site 9?
So Side Street Sluice takes place
você não
in
ganhou
the
esse aqui, ó?
sewers of Undermine, and you will get
acho
to
que ganhou.
see what Dark Fuse is trying to do in the sewers, what control they're exerting within the space, and the other sort of antics of goblins away from the
VG or
public
Hide?
eye and their machinations within the sewers.
VG, né?
And Excavation Site 9
Ah, não,
takes
é
place
Delve.
in a new section behind the
esse é
Opportunity
Delve
Point
nova,
at
pode
the
crer.
south of where we're going in the Ring Deeps. In it, you're going to see sort of like void corruption overtaking
Ele
Titan's
lá.
ruins to sort of
Falando do
show
Void,
this
de
eternal
novo.
conflict we have seen through the history of World of Warcraft of
Não é só
Titan
os Void,
versus
né? São
Void.
as estruturas
Within
do
it, of
Império-
course,
do
you will
Império
go and see
Negro.
why it is called Excavation Site 9 with the goblin-themed
embaixo,
antics
a
that
gente
are
vai ter que
down
explorar
there.
isso.
It is a
É isso
super
que eu falo,
cool
sempre, olha lá,
environmental
sempre
storytelling
esteve com a gente. Void,
So, is our trusty sidekick
a
still
coisa dos
Brand Bronzebeard?
titãs, só que a gente
Gods.
nunca parou pra dar uma olhada. Old
Is still
Gods.
Bran Bronzebeard, yes. So we decided to go with Bran for the entirety of the War Within, as he is a character people have grown fond of early on in Season 1, with all of
Bran é
his
outra coisa
meme
que
potential
eles
about
mexeram.
webs and Nerubians popping out of them. And also, it
As pessoas
gives us an
gostaram de
opportunity
ter
to
nas
rethink
delves,
what
mas,
a sort of
explorar o
expansion
potencial
level
dele
companion
como
will be,
DPS,
instead
como
of season
tanque,
over
como
season
healer.
constantly
Legal.
changing and forcing people to relearn the mechanics, the abilities, sort of the kit that Bran has. Also, within Season 2 and at the launch of the Undermined update, Bran will be receiving a new tank specialization. So
Porque hoje ele só hoje ele só entra como DPS ou healer, né?
Spec change into a role that isn't the one that you're connected to. He'll be a ranged tank, so he has a shield and a gun,
vai ser
and then a
de
new
ajuda.
set of abilities that he will receive for that. Not only that,
Hunter
but we
tanque.
also have goblin curios that we're putting in there, goblin-themed curios. So a dwarf such as Bran Bronzebeard with sort of his personality and how sort of larger than life he is. What is he going to
Deu
do
vontade de
when he's
fazer Goblin
interacting with
agora.
rockets and bombs and malfunctioning
gente fazendo.
devices throughout the delving experience? There is a special curio that you can receive from doing the challenge encounter.
Oh.
And it'll allow Bran to call down a mech that you then, as a player, can pilot in the
No.
delve.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so it's going to just tie into sort of the goblin fantasy of
Vai
everything
colocar
we have within
dentro
Undermine.
deles.
Now let's
That's
talk about
rather
Season
enormous.
2, which starts 1 week after the Undermine update. Let's
Yeah,
go straight into
Season 2,
PvP.
Yeah, so there's going to be a new arena called the Age of Carnage.
Isso aí é um negócio que a gente
unlike
ficou,
any arena we've
acho que
ever
você
done
ficou pra trás
before.
também, de
We took a
PVP,
look
né?
at the map pool and we noticed
fez
that we
muito.
were missing a couple smaller maps. So we decided to make this map a little bit more cutthroat.
PVP é um negócio que
Players
eu
will
vou
be
querer
dropped
trazer
into a
em
trapdoor
live,
and
mas só
separated
pra
only
brincar,
by
pra
a metal
zoar mesmo.
platform
É
that'll
sempre
have
engraçado a
ramps
gente
on
fazer
every
jogo.
floor. It's going to be
Não é
quite a tight
foco,
fit.
não é uma
It should
coisa que eu
make for some
faço
explosive
bem.
gameplay.
Well, that's what PvP players can expect. What can PvE players expect in Season 2?
Yeah, so there's going to be a new dungeon called Operation Floodgate. It's going to be a 4-boss dungeon that's taking place in the Ringing Deeps. It's going to be at that big dam that you might have seen. And we are preventing Ventrico and Dark Fuse from knocking over that dam and flooding the region. So players can enter this dungeon immediately, but Mythic Plus will come out once the season begins. The new Mythic Plus dungeon rotation will include the new dungeon Operation Floodgate, as well as the 4 remaining War Within dungeons. But it will also include some older dungeons, the Mechagon Workshop, the Motherlode, and the Theater of Pain.
Yep. Sorry about Theater of Pain. You're going to be farming my trinkets yet again. I know Soul Letting Ruby is one of the very popular ones that people went after.
I'll be going after that.
And then, of course, with Mechagon, we do have our lovely Cogwheel Skill Shot trinket that I'm really excited to see people use again, especially when they're fighting other motorcycles in Undermine and the raid itself.
Now let's talk about the new raid, Liberation of Undermine.
Okay, so Liberation of Undermine. It is going to be an 8-boss raid. It will unlock a week after the Undermined update goes out. And then we have our story mode also unlocking a week after that. So we saw success with Nerebar Palace and Queen Anne's in terms of people going into the story mode. You get to experience the encounter, you get to see the cinematics. And for us, Galliwix's encounter is a really cool part of the story that we are telling within the Undermined update, and so of course it was a no-brainer. We wanted to make sure that we gave you that story mode so you can go in there as well. In regards to this boss raid, things in Undermine happens the Goblin way, and the raid itself is very much a way with which you can see what zany, crazy encounters our encounter designers cooked up and did it in a way that's very goblin-y. A couple notable examples that I would call out is we have the Cauldron of Carnage that is going to have a gorilla versus a mechanical Tyrannosaurus that are going to fight each other, kind of a reference. And we have the big tank.
Tipo uma referência.
Godzilla versus King Kong. We have our DJ boss, who compels you by the power of sound in order to listen to Galliwix and not to anyone else. And then lastly, of course, the Galliwix encounter, once people see that mech, and also what the mythic mount will be, I feel a lot of people are going to be trying to see how they can get to cutting edge.
Vai lutar contra ele. Vai ter a montaria dele.
I'm very excited about the Carnage fight because that T-Rex Mechasaur, that also has a chance to drop a mount, and as a collector, I want that mount so bad.
It's the coolest mount in the game, in my opinion.
Are there any other rewards we can look out for?
Well, with the new raid comes new gear sets and set bonuses, and these set bonuses are going to be themed around the Magnificent Galagio. Whether you're a tank that wants a little bit more luck of the draw, or a healer that needs a little bit added insurance, the 2 set bonuses are going to be unique per role, but the 4 set bonuses are going to be unique per specialization, and there should be something for everyone.
Warrior Rogue pra mim.
What are you both most excited for with this update?
Oh, it's got to be Drive for me. I mean, I cannot wait to start drifting around the Undermine between queues. It's going to be my new anti-AFK activity for sure.
Going in circles, just like how we always do.
Absolutely, but this time sideways.
So I'm excited for 2 things about the Undermine update. 1, I finally get to be able to talk about Undermine, which is awesome. 2,
olha isso,
experience the new take on Goblin culture. One of the things that
é um jogo que tá aí desde 2006, com altos e baixos, talvez recentes grandes baixos, mas que se levantou muito bem.
The passion that has gone into everything about Undermine. I cannot wait for people to experience from our local stories to our main campaign. There is a lot of love and care and passion put into Undermine that really resonates.
Aqui, o The Ring não teve baixo não, irmão.
Moment of just everyone who is excited to work on goblins. We finally were able to be like, here it is. Let's do our best that we can in terms of creating this super compelling story.
Thank you guys so much for talking to me about Undermined.
Cara, perfeito. Isso aqui vai ser um patch que, nossa, junto com a Season 2, basicamente.
Maravilhoso.
Mas é isso. Ó, quem estiver vendo essa gravação aí, não esquece de estar fazendo live também. Fazendo esses reagimentos aqui, esses reajos. E é isso. O Undermined tá aí, acredito que janeiro, finalzinho de janeiro, começo de fevereiro.
Comecinho de fevereiro? Eu chuto, né? Começo de fevereiro.